Today, this is basically the kickoff of our project. So what I really want us to do today is to look at the mindset. How are we supposed to be thinking for us to be ready for this challenge that's ahead? Well, it's not ahead because it started now, but the idea is, what is that winning mindset? What is that entrepreneurial mindset we need to adopt in order to say we're ready to basically make success of this opportunity. So we said choose yourself, and I'm going to explain to you why we used those words and what do we mean by saying no one is coming, right? So let's start here. I want to make the case that all of us were born slaves. We're all born slaves, and whether it's slaves to our parents, slaves to our communities, slaves to whoever, but we're born slaves. For the most part of our lives, when we grow up, we are bound to do whatever our parents want us to do, and they determine what should be best for us, and so on and so forth. And so we're pretty much slaves to their will. They could use us to try and realize whatever goals they failed to use. So we're slaves. We're not in control of our lives as we're born. And the sad part is that as soon as we leave that stage, as soon as we're old enough, it's almost as if we're sold to the tea houses of this world. I don't know if you guys know anything about geishas, but basically we're sold to the system where we're taught into the schooling system, which teaches us how to please the man. So geishas it's a Japanese, it's a traditional thing. So something's been there for a long time in Japan. But these are hostesses that are trained to entertain men with conversation, dance, and songs. And basically, that's what school becomes for us. It's where we go there and we get trained on how to please the man, basically, so to speak. And we go through this process, and part of this process of how to please the man is how to put aside our feelings and do whatever is desired by the man, or whatever is seen as desirable by the man. So what you just saw there up there is what you call foot binding, which is an ancient Chinese custom, where basically women would break their feet and tightly bind them because it was seen as beautiful. You're seen as beautiful if you've got bound feet, basically. So basically men looked at it and found it sexy and everything, and therefore women had to do it in order to meet that standard. And I feel like that's really where we all are in life. Even though this led to it was a painful thing to do, and it made it difficult for women to walk, and it actually resulted in lifelong disabilities. People still did it, and this is pretty much, to me, this represents our lives, where sometimes you don't fit in whatever situation that you're in, but you quickly learn how to put aside your feelings. You are taught, the system teaches you how to put aside your feelings in order to learn how to please the man. So you're groomed in that sense, So I feel like all of us were born these types of slaves, and then we get groomed on how to please the man. And most of us, we live all of our lives trying to please the man. And it's not always worth it. But the problem that makes us stay in that situation is that, in all honesty, no one is coming to save us, right? So when you're in that cycle, when you're in that situation, there's no one. In fact, people are actually willing to support you towards that direction. There is no one who is coming to you and saying, do you want to jump off? Do you want to matter? Do you want to do something that matters to you? Do you believe that what you believe matters, what you think should happen matters, and you can pursue that? There is no one who's trying to, so it's almost as if no one will give you your freedom. You have to take it, right? So no one is coming. And as a result, because we do this and hope that one day someone is going to come and save us from this peril, until it's too late. And we realize that because as you grow older in this situation, the bargain becomes clear that it's empty, because even though you're doing everything you're told to do, you're told to go to school, you're told to get good marks, you're told to go to college, you're told to graduate and be a good employee. But at some point you feel that I'm not necessarily getting what I was hoping to get, So ultimately, it gets to a point where you kind of have to decide, that what you care about matters. You do not have to put aside your feelings because they are a radar that should tell you that you're doing what matters to you. It's not about putting aside what you believe. What you believe actually matters. And you need to understand that you're not alone in the situation that you're in. There's a lot of people that are trapped in the same situation, and no one is going to choose you to lead them. No one is going to choose you. No one is coming to come and say, please lead us or whatever. You have to choose yourself. You have to say, you know what, I'm tired of the situation that I'm in, and I want to lead the change that I want. I want to lead what I believe, and I'm willing to show my hand and say, this is the journey that I want to take. Anyone who wants to come with me is welcome, and no one is going to show that they want to come with you until you make that promise yourself, right? Until you make that statement that this is the journey that I want to take, and anyone who's willing to go with me, they can come. But so you have to take that first step. So the first thing is to say, no one is going to come and hand you your freedom, be it financial freedom, economic freedom, whatever you call it. No one is going to hand it to you, and you are going to have to take it. And that's going to take you saying, I'm taking this direction before you know that this direction is going to work, right? And it's going to take you consistently going in that direction enough for people to start realizing that it doesn't matter what they think about what you're choosing to do with your life, but that's what you're doing. And the more you do it with consistency, the more confidence you can develop from other people along what you're doing. So ultimately, that is really the most important thing that I wanted to just share with you as far as this Kickstarter type session is concerned. So I'm saying to you today, you have to choose to say, do I have dreams that matter to me? Do I want to choose myself to lead the change that is necessary for me to achieve those dreams, right? We need to be willing to say what matters to us is important. We do not need to put aside what matters to us in order to please the man, right? So this is basically what today is about. So what I'm saying is technology has given us the power for us to choose ourselves from wherever we are. So now, because if you've got your laptop and you've got an internet connection wherever you are, that's all you really need to change the world, because it means you're connected to 7 billion people, or at least 5 billion people that are using the internet out of the 7 billion people in the world. So ultimately, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. No one before you has ever had so much power in their hands, right? So this whole session is about you understanding that what you are dreaming about is valid, what you're dreaming about is worth it. It's worth you taking the effort. It's worth you sacrificing your time, sacrificing whatever comfort you might be feeling in whatever situation that you're in. So this, to me, is the most important message, and it's very brief. I don't want to take it too far. I just want to at this point open up and say, let's talk about this. And what do you feel? Do you believe that you have the right to actually do what you believe? It's really that simple. Do you have an understanding? Do you even know what you believe? Because most of us, we hardly know what we believe by now. The system has taught us for so long that as long as we go and do what we're told to do, we'll be okay, to a point where we've forgotten how to do what we want. We've even forgotten how to dream. We've even forgotten how to say, this is what I deserve out of life. So like I said, I want this one to be a conversation where we're opening, because we're just changing the mindset to say, how do I now stop being sedated into thinking that as long as I go and do what I'm told, I'm going to reach what I'm going to get the reward that is due to me. And to say, can I dare to actually look within me for what matters to me? Can I look for the change that I want to create? Can I see people and say, who do I see in the world that I would like to help? And can I give myself the permission to help that person? Can I give myself the permission to help myself first? Because this is another thing that's very important. As I'm doing this program, this is not one of those programs where I'm doing it because I'm on the top of the hill and now I'm thinking I need to come and drag you guys. What I want for myself, I want for you guys. What I want for you is what I want for myself. So this journey that we're taking we're taking it together, So everything that I'm talking to you guys about, it's not just something that I'm promising to you. It's something I'm also promising to myself, and I'm making the same vow and the same commitment to say that I'm willing to also do whatever it takes to achieve the same economic freedom that I'm saying we deserve to achieve together. So I just know that together we stand a better chance than on our own. So please, can I ask that we all unmute our mics and really just have a quick conversation about what we're talking about here and what we believe is possible for ourselves. Now, so right. So, is there anyone who wants to come and say, this is what matters to me, and this is what I'd like to achieve with my own life? Is there anyone who has even thought that far about their life, or who is not in trying to please the man?
Just to comment on what you have said. Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is Afigile Nokele. You can call me Fifi. So we are young and it's true that we are born slaves. Uyofika umntana mhlawumbi uphuma ka grade 12. Kuthi haye into eningi imisebenzi enye yi-teaching, onye kuthiwa yi-nursing. Mna namntwana uzokwenza marketing, intoni yonke bonto. So yonke laa nto ke ngoku ifika engqondweni yomntana or whoever, imcinezela ingqondo. So kunoqaphela apha phandle, people are depressed ngoba benza into abangayithandiyo. Wenza something to please the other party. So it is imperative for one to discover themselves ukuthi actually ndifuna ntoni kahle, because ekugqibeleni yonke le nto yenzakalayo uzogubha lo, uzosweleka akushiye ngoku enale future yena ebenayo engqondweni yakhe ngawe. On the other side, wena unenye i-future engqondweni yakho ngoba ubomi ngoku uyawelisha ujonga ngapho ufuna ukwenza le at the same time utrapped kwelinye icala. Now ke ngoku uthi sofuna ukumove on ngobomi bakho ke ngoku sofuna ukuzidiscoverisha okwespider so uzama ukuvula imilenze okanye ufuna ukuvula amaphiko. Fike ngoku umuntu sele estruglisha neminyaka engoku ihambile. Sejonga amaxanduva amaninzi. Ngapha ndinamatyala, ndinenqwaba yabantwana, ifamily yami ijonge mna. So akasakwazi ukuphila obakho ubomi ke ngoku sephilela omnye umuntu. So bendifuna ukwenza nje i-comment kuleyo nto.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Afikile.
Thank you.
Angus.
Well, I think Fifi kind of covered what I was kind of thinking also. But just to add on top of what she's saying, I think thinking about yourself means creating purpose. And I think that's the ultimate goal. Again, to have direction in where you want to go, because a future is just one picture. It's a still picture, but you need to find yourself in that space. So Shuti, you need to build yourself a purpose, something you wake up for every day. And that's needed really to take your mentality out of whatever state it is, which, like how you say, it's sort of like a slaver's mentality, you know. We're doing it that the man's beating and so forth. We don't have capacity to think on our own. So yeah, I do think something like this is definitely a good start in paving sort of the way to your future.
Yes. Thank you, my brother. Ayabunga. Why are you still muted? Join the conversation, Ayabunga. Choose yourself. Let's engage together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys. Like, pardon me for entering the meeting quite late. But yeah, my opinion in terms of choosing yourself, I think it's defining goals, setting goals for yourself. And yeah, like the previous speaker, Angus said, you should have a why. And your why should actually motivate you. So we're still in that process, I would like to note.
Yes. So what's beautiful, I'm happy that you are beginning to chart the road. So this whole program is about the roads that we've already charted, and we're saying let's just go the road together, so that as we're taking the road together, we can be able to tell each other, you know what, there's a pothole there, there's something there, there's. So if we are taking the same road together, we're going to be able to help each other to get there faster. Like the African saying says, if you wanna go fast, go alone. But if you wanna go further, go with everyone, you know, or go with people, you know. So I believe that we want to go further because our goal here, honestly, this is what I would like for everybody who's here today to understand, that the goal that we're trying to share for everybody is to say, within 10 months from now, can you be able to be making in excess of 20 grand from where you are without having to go anywhere? Can you be able to be making in excess of 20 grand per month from your own skills? So that's the goal. That's the long-term goal that we're trying to achieve, right? And we've charted a whole strategy of how to get there, because I remember I earlier on in a session that we had, I tried to explain this, that what you really need, like you said, is to set the goals, have the goals first, know where you're going, because no one really wanders around at the top of Mount Everest. If you're going to go to the top of Mount Everest, anyone who's been at the top of Mount Everest, they planned to get there. They didn't just wander around and then they ended up there one day. So that's very important. And once you know those goals, it's very important for you to understand that the fact that that desire exists inside of you is the only proof that is possibility trying to scratch out of you. It's possible, you can do it. That's why that's what desire is. It's the proof that you can do it. And once you know that, Angus, is that a hand you're raising?
No, I'm clapping.
Oh, cool. So once you know that, once you're clear about that, the next step is to say, what does it take? once you can land, this is what I want to achieve, and then you can now figure out what it takes, what resources am I going to need, what support am I going to need, and so on and so forth. The next step is to figure out who holds those resources, who holds that support, who already has what I need, because whatever it is in life that you need, it's already there in abundance. It's just that it's in the hands of someone who is looking for an equivalent. They're not looking for the same thing they have. For example, if you need technology, you need support, you need training for you to learn how to be a web designer and build yourself, we already have all of that. And that's not what we are. We don't need it. We can give it to you if you are willing to figure out what we need, right? So this is the concept I'm trying to say, that whatever it is that you want, it's there. You can take it, but unlikely you have to position yourself in a way that allows you to give the other person the equivalent that they are looking for, right? So we're saying, like you said, set your goals. Once you've set those goals, figure out what it takes to achieve them. Once you've figured out what it takes to achieve them, figure out who holds the resources, who holds the key to what it takes. And then once you know that, then figure out what that person is looking for in life. And then say, how can I level myself up in order to position myself for this person to see me as the best solution, right? So this is now, you need 4K per month, and you're gonna have to figure out who needs a website, for example, who needs customers that you can help them connect with customers online through a website, because no one really needs a website. That's another thing you need to understand. No one really needs a website. People need customers, you know? And you need to understand what your leverage is in all of this. This is possibly the most important part of what I want us to share about today, is that you have leverage that you have that is unique only to you. And at the broadest spectrum of that leverage is the fact that you are a digital age being, right? You are born of this era, right? So, which then means that businesses across the land, or even across the world, are bleeding because they were built with the mind of the last revolution or the last industrial revolution, and now they are failing to transition into this 4IR era, right? And which then means they are not able to connect with customers, because right now, even when you are walking around town, you can hardly see what is on the billboard because you're glued on your screen on your phone, right? So ultimately, you are the hero that can connect that business to this new type of customer who's glued on the phone. That business doesn't have the power to do that on their own. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the skills, and that's your leverage. And you know this because even the people that have the businesses, when they buy those big phones that you can't afford, when those phones, they don't know how to use them, they throw them at you, and they trust you that you're gonna know what to do with them, right? So ultimately, that's your unique ability. That's your unique positioning. You don't need to go to any university to prove a person that can help them with their digital stuff. They already believe that by the virtue of your age, the virtue of you being a digital age person, you already have what it takes to help them. So it's just really understanding that as your biggest leverage and saying, how can you use that to actually shape your life? How can you actually look at the fact that you are not an unemployed person or an underemployed person, or what you are a hero. There are businesses that are bleeding and you are the only doctor that can help them. But obviously, you are going to need to level up and consolidate your skills and actually show your hand. I'm ready to lead. So that's really the message that I want us to really discuss today and share.
You know, I like the parts you spoke of, how these days we don't need website, and which is absolutely true. It's not like how back in the days, the early days, a website meant everything to a business. Now, if a website is just going to sit online doing nothing and not generating value, it's of no use, which is why I think these days it just goes beyond you making a website. You have to create value within that person's business, and they have to see your value. That's the only way I think you become sustainable in this game. You can't just make good-looking sites. There's just one aspect of it all.
Yes.
You have to go beyond that.
Right. So yes, we've got 10 minutes to go, guys. We're actually past the 30 minutes that I planned, but that's lovely. Whoever can still stay on, we still have 30 minutes to chat, right? So ultimately, you're very right, and I'm saying no one needs a website. No one needs what you do. No one even cares about what you do. People need what they need. You need to be aware of the fact that you're only doing what you do because it's a means to getting them what they need. You know. So once you understand that, you can run a business, right? Once you understand that, you can you can grow as a business person. You know. So I think that's why the last part of this training is going to be on what is called inbound marketing, right? So inbound marketing is the opposite of outbound marketing, which is where you go and interrupt people in whatever they are doing, and you knock on their door and say, "This is what I'm selling." Whatever it doesn't matter. So that's outbound, right? Picking up a phone and calling people and saying, "This is what I'm selling." That's outbound. So inbound is really how do you leverage technology, right? One, to attract strangers from wherever they are and make them visitors into your space, right? So that's the first thing that you learn. And then the second thing that you learn is that when these strangers become visitors in your space, you must know that on average, people spend about 30 seconds on each website before they go to the next one. So what can you do to capture them into leads? A lead now is someone who has given you their contact information, and they've given you permission to say you can contact me about this particular idea, right? So that's a lead. Now, this is someone that you had 30 seconds to talk to, and now you turn that 30 seconds into 3 years, because that's how long it takes for people, for example, to unsubscribe from a newsletter they don't like, right? I'm sure you've got newsletters that are still coming to your email. You never subscribed for the last 3 years, but you don't, you know? So that's the second step, to say you first attract strangers to become your visitors. Then once those strangers are in your space, how do you capture them into leads? And once you've got those leads, how do you engage those leads into people that feel that they know, like, and trust you enough to give you their money, to give you their time, to give you their value, basically, right? So once you have done that, the last step of inbound marketing is, once this person has given you their money, how do you delight them with service? How do you delight them with added value and turn them into what we call a raving fan, who is going to go and introduce you to more strangers like them, right? And then your business now becomes a flywheel, because all you do now is you're attracting strangers, making them and turning them into visitors. You're turning those visitors into leads. You're turning those leads into customers. You're turning those customers into raving fans who are giving you more strangers, right? And then your business starts to grow on its own through how you do your business, right? So that's the last part that we're going to teach you after we've taught you the basic skill and the basic, tech skill and business skill, basically. Then the last part is going to be, how do we help you grow your business just by doing it in a certain way that makes it grow on its own? Yeah. I think we've got a message in the chat. Let's take a look. Do we have a communication platform or forum for this community? Yes. Yes, we have a forum that's going to be on our website. Advantagefa.ltd. So we've got a community forum there where we're all going to be in, and whenever you are stuck with something, you're going to be able to put a question, and we are going to be there. I'm going to be there, and everybody else who's part of us is going to be there to to answer if it's something that they've figured out on their own type thing. And I'm going to ask that you don't go there when you've got questions only, but you also go there to see what other people are struggling with and also be helpful. Because in as much as at this point it's still a small community, I think I can support you guys to the best of my ability. But I'm hoping at some point it's going to grow to a point where the community itself needs to be supportive. So one thing that I want to, which this reminds me of, is the fact that most of you guys have not gone to your emails and confirmed your subscription. Therefore, you're not able to receive our communication. So it goes back to the fact that we don't send communication to someone who has not confirmed that they are interested in our materials. So because you have not done that, that's why I'm forced now to communicate with you guys via WhatsApp, right? Which is a very tedious process, really speaking, but it's worth it, because I'd rather as many of you guys are here, than I send an email to half of you and half of you don't even get to know that there's something going on. But I would really ask everyone to really go and look for the confirmation email and confirm their subscription. And if you don't get it, to let me know via WhatsApp, so that we can make a plan of how to get you to maybe to re-subscribe, so that you can finally get the confirmation email. So I'd really like that to happen, because I'd like a situation where all of you guys are on my email and I'm able to reach you guys by just sending one message to everyone. So yeah, please, that's something I must ask you guys to consider. Do we have any questions so far? So tomorrow, maybe people want to have an understanding of what's next from here. So tomorrow, literally, we are going to be looking at how to crystallize those goals, the goals that you're supposed to set for yourself, which is for the next year or 10 months, so to speak, and also for the next month. So how to crystallize this goal, which is the 4,000 rands goal, over the next month, and then we're going to look at what are the key things that you're going to have to do in order to reach that goal, and how to go about that. So that's really going to be the most the gist of tomorrow's session, is for us to really clarify the mission and say, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going to be going from here to there, and this is how we're going to get there. So by the end of tomorrow, all of us should be coming out with a clear plan to say, this is basically what I'm committing myself to over the next month and over the next 10 months, preferably. Yeah. Now just keep our mics up, man. We're talking now. No one is a guest here. We are a community.
All right. Okay. I need to head out of a meeting soon, but I did have a question regarding the website Pro Builder tool.
Sure.
Is it coming in future after we've done with this part of the work? Is there still going to be part of it?
No. Like the Pro Builder tool is you already have access to it. I already gave it to you to access it, right? Have you not opened it up yet and tried it?
No, I see it. I'm just saying in terms of this being part of the process of setting up your whole thing and so forth and stuff. Because I did see one of the instructions says you don't have to choose a domain, you just continue and just have it set up. That's fine. So now, should we get to a point where we need to start doing the actual work? Do we need a tutorial, or is it that intuitive on its own, or it already has a small tutorial of its own?
Oh, inside the web builder, there is a button called Help. Now, so if you click on that, it will take you to our knowledge base. That's where all the how-to videos are. That's where all the how-to articles are. So ultimately, this is a learn by doing type program. You basically say, I'm launching this website, I'm doing it, and then when you're stuck, you can just go to the help button. And then if you don't find what you need there, that's when you're going to be able to go to our forum and say, I'm struggling to do 1, 2, 3. And the idea is that anyone who's in the forum who might have figured out how to do that can answer. but I will always be there to the best of my ability to make sure that I'm answering you guys as fast as you can whenever these questions that you guys cannot help each other with. So that's really how it works. And also you guys have got direct access to me via phone or WhatsApp calling and so on. So you can always pick up the phone and say, listen, I'm just not sure. I'm not able to add a slider into my website.